G'day, Professor Joseph Drew. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about something that's extremely important. It's causing a lot of problems, a lot of fiscal illusion, a lot of financial distress in our local governments. It's called information asymmetry. Hang on, I'll tell you what it's about, why it's important, but most importantly, I'll give you 3 simple ways to fix the problem. So what is information asymmetry? Is when one party to a transaction has an awful lot more information than another party. And economists have a real problem with this because when people aren't dealing with full information, they can't make good decisions. Now, this is a particular problem for government because you've got 3 main parties working and they've all got access to different information. You've got the staff and the executive who probably have the most information about the financial predicament of the council and the operations of the council. That's because they're the ones dealing with it day in, day out. You have the councillors and our elected representatives, which know a little bit less, but still have quite a good grasp of finances and a good grasp of what's happening on a day-to-day basis. And then you have the community, which really are usually labouring in a cloud of complete ignorance. Do an experiment for me. Go out in the street now and ask some people whether they know whether the council made a surplus or deficit last year, how much debt the council has, and how much cash on hand the council has. I very much doubt that you'll find a single person that knows any of those things. Yet those people are voting in elections. Those people are paying rates notices. Those people are being invited to turn up to community engagement events and demand new services and higher quality services. You know, if they're acting in ignorance, how can they be doing these things in a democratically legitimate fashion? So in this video, in order of priority, I'll list the 3 main things we could do to significantly redress this information asymmetry problem, which is leading and exacerbating the fiscal illusion problem, which I've talked about in other videos. So these ideas in order of priorities of how important this is. Now, the first thing that I would suggest is pre-election statements, just like they do in New Zealand. They're mandatory there. So in a pre-election statement, what we're going to do is a few weeks prior to the local government elections, we post out to every resident some basic information about the finances of the council and the councillors and their plans should they be elected. What it means is that we won't have people turning up to local government elections expressing their preferences for candidates in a cloud of ignorance. The far majority of people, and I listen to them every time I go down and vote in local government elections, have no idea who the candidates are, why they should vote for them, what the candidates' priorities are for the coming terms, what the financial position of the local government is. Now, if we were to provide this information every 4 years, we'd get better decision making in the democratic process, which means that we would actually be running a true democracy rather than a lucky dip, which is what it sometimes seems to be at present. But also we would be regularly updating our residents about the financial situation of our local government. So when we do have to do something like put up rates or have a discussion with them about service levels, we're not starting from a zero base. They've been given information on a regular basis and the community is starting to understand our fiscal challenges. Such a simple thing. It's mandated in New Zealand, and for the life of me, I have no idea why it's not mandated in every jurisdiction in Australia. Before I give you the next 2 suggestions, which are also simple and which would also make a radical difference to local government, can I ask you to do 3 things for me? If you've watched this video and you found some new information, you've enjoyed it, please give me the thumbs up. It tells me to make more videos like this on this particular topic. Also, can you please subscribe? And can you please share this video? Send it on to someone else. We all know other people in local governments. If everyone was to send these videos on, we could start a conversation. People could put their 2 cents into the comments box and we could all learn and we could all improve. And that's all I'm trying to do through this YouTube channel. So my next suggestion is to have some basic information about financial sustainability on the rates notice. Why the rates notice? Well, this is a 1 piece of paper that everyone has to look at 4 times a year. You've got their attention. Use that opportunity to give them some information and to educate your community. There's a video about the importance of community education, and this is the big challenge that local government faces in terms of financial sustainability is that our communities don't understand our situation. Why don't they understand our situation? Because we're not giving them information. So I whipped this up this morning. It took me literally 2 minutes. It's based on Tamworth local government area where I live. And you can see it's quite simple to do a pie graph showing where the revenue comes from with percentages there. A pie graph with the expenditure, where it goes with percentages there. But probably more important, that little table down the bottom showing borrowings. You can see in Tamworth, borrowings have increased from $72 million 4 years ago to $90 million. I guarantee that there's not a single person in Tamworth that doesn't work for local government that actually knew that. Unrestricted cash has reduced and is quite low, and people can see that in a table of 4 years. They can see what's happening to externally restricted cash, and they can see what's happening to internally restricted cash. Now, obviously, you would need short one-sentence explanations for each one of those 4 terms, but if we give people information, they will no longer be labouring under misapprehensions, and they will understand the financial predicament of our council. And then when we have to have the difficult conversation with them, we won't be starting from a zero base. Such a simple thing to do. I know a few councils around the country are doing it. If you're not doing it at present, as I say, it took me a whole 2 minutes to whip this up. I suggest you do so and start printing them on your rates notice. And the third most important thing that we need to start doing is to start sending good price signals. Now, economic theory, price signal theory will tell you that people value things at the price they pay for them. Now, the problem is a lot of our government goods and services are heavily subsidised, and people are valuing them at what they're paying for them, not at the real cost of the good or service. Now, it's relatively simple to fix, and it's with the receipt. When you hand over money to pay for a local government good or service, you usually receive a receipt in return. Most people would look at it. Now, this is when we've got their attention. This is when we've got to exploit the opportunity to educate them. So it's quite simple. You have price paid by the customer, and then in very large writing in bold to really capture the attention, total value of the subsidy, and then finally the total price of the goods and service. So for an example, pill admission fees, you might have price paid by customer, $5, subsidy provided by council, $12, total cost of pill entrance, $17. That'll get people's attention. They'll go, wow, never knew it cost that much. Why does it cost that much? They'll start asking questions, and they'll start understanding, and we'll be redressing those information asymmetries which are causing so many problems for local government. Look, I hope this video was helpful. Don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up, and share. And thank you very much for your time. Goodbye.